I graduate today. Well, when this video comes out, it's today. Technically, it's the day before. That's crazy. I just turned in my last assignment and, technically, I guess I don't know technically, but I'm done. I have no more assignments to turn in. I'm graduating. What a time to be a college senior too. I wanted to record this video to sit down and just talk about my reactions to the COVID-19 crisis, what it feels like, at least for me, to look back on one day in like a time capsule to see what my thoughts were, what my reaction was. My senior year was cut short because of COVID-19, and I'm not bitter or angry or resentful. I think by doing my part, staying home and being under quarantine, if that saves lives, then I'm not gonna regret that. But what I realized, but it doesn't mean it's not sad. I don't want to seem like this video is complaining or just trying to make light of anything, because I know a lot of people have it really tough right now. But I just wanted to record my thoughts and my worlds of what it's been like to graduate during a pandemic, to finishing your senior year online at home. For me, I guess it's still sinking in. Like, I'm still processing it. I know I had to go. I think a lot of kids went off to spring break never imagining that the next time they'd be coming back would be to move out of their apartments because school would be moving online. And so when I was moving out, there was a mad blitz to get everything out of your campuses, out of your dorms. For me, I lived off campus, but to empty out a lot of I still have stuff there, but for me to emptying out and like taking down the artwork and the posters and all the things that I made it my home in a way, that's when I really started to feel like, man, like college for me is really over. And that part was sad when it really hit me. That was a bird, I'm sorry. And it's sad, while it's sad, I'm grateful for the friendships I have. I'm grateful for the people that helped me get to where I am, that helped me finish college and helped make college worth it. I'm so grateful. But yeah, clearly when I recorded my last video, a lot has changed since then. Looking back at my last first day video, which I filmed, I think in September or something, it was interesting to rewatch that because that video got 6 likes and the audio was so bad. Like, I did not deserve that. So the fact that it got that much love is like, wow. But watching that video again as I was preparing for this one, the uncertainty of graduating that I had back then has obviously changed, and these underlying problems of what's my role in the world, what am I going to do with my life, are still kind of there. They honestly pale in comparison to where we are now. Like, they are kind of peripheral to just not surviving, but just taking it day by day in terms of the whole world's uncertain now. Whereas as a college senior, it felt like going into the real world, you're the only one feeling that, and now the whole world's feeling that. So definitely it's put in a perspective for me, like, man, my problems are not that big. So part of it for me as a college senior is, at least right now, I don't know what the plan is with my school, but what's going to happen with graduation and any other ceremonies, traditions, or goodbyes that you have, all the things that go with graduating college, you don't get to have. I'm not complaining. I don't want to be like whataboutism where it's like, I have to say I have it pretty good. I know a lot of other people don't, but I just wanted to record my thoughts on what it likes for my generation, what the class of 2020 might be feeling, what I'm feeling like at least. I know for me, a little different than other people, I feel, but my kind of story with college was my first year was really lonely. Those memes where it's like, if you go home and you don't miss being back at college, like, oh, you went to the wrong school. And I would look at that my freshman year, probably the fall semester, and I'd be like, oh gosh, I didn't really get to know a lot of people. I had never eaten so many meals by myself. I write more about it on my blog, which I'll link somewhere in the description or link it somehow in the video. Thankfully, a lot of the seeds that were planted that year grew into really good friendships, but to be really close to people takes time, and so my first year was really lonely. It has nothing to do with the school, it really has to do with me. Starting my freshman year to now in college, where I have made a ton of friendships and a lot of close friends that I hold dearly. The story arc of how college has went from a lonely experience to very, I'd be out late, I'd be having that, what you picture it to be, and I'm so grateful for that, to have had those moments, and I have so many of them that I'm beyond blessed in that respect. Which makes it hard in terms of how senior year ended, where you don't really get to say goodbye. I guess you don't have that closure. The realization eventually hit that I was like, I'm never gonna be back on campus again as a student. After turning in my last assignment, it was really a feeling of relief. In college, I think in education in general, but specifically college, there's constantly this anxiety of like, am I forgetting something? I always feel like I'm forgetting something, because unlike work where you go 9 to 5 and then you can turn it off, when you're a student you can't ever really turn it off. When I turned in that last assignment, I was like, the realization was like, I'm done. I don't have to do this. I don't have to ever learn anything again. As I look back on my college career, at least for me, it's with so much gratitude. Like, I love the school I went to. I love the friendships I made. The fact that I look back on that freshman year and it wasn't always like that it became what it became, is such a blessing by God that I got to that point. But definitely a lot of hardships. Probably graduating from college is the hardest thing I've ever done. I had a lot of highs and a lot of lows. To think that it's over just like that, I guess it's still sinking in, because now I'm kind of pivoting to writing my resume, improving my resume, trying to apply for jobs, and the fact that I'm already moving on to the next chapter. But also, high school seniors who are graduating. I was just thinking about them. Both classes of 2020, high school and college, are linked because you're graduating at this environment. But I feel really bad for high school seniors because in that case it's like prom, or in high school you really graduate and sometimes you don't see those people again for your life, whereas college it can be that, but it's a little different. But yeah, for not to have your prom or any formals or any other like ceremonies of athletics, for athletics and both college and high school to be cut short, especially if you're an athletic senior, you don't get that back. Be grateful for the time you did have. Be grateful for the people that are around you now. Take each day one at a time. You can't get the past back. It's only forward. That's why I filmed this outside in my car, because if I had the option to, I've been inside a lot. Looking back at my first video to now, I guess I would say to previous Caleb is like, take it a day at a time, be grateful for each day, make the most of it, because there's always going to be problems, which is really encouraging. But there's always going to be issues, there's always going to be some hurdle, and that's just life, I realize. And you have your plans and sometimes they work out, but a lot of the times the bigger stuff doesn't work out the way you thought it was, and then you find in the end that it was better for it. And I think as a student, I would say anyone still in college who still has another year, make the most of it. I mean, who knows what, right now we don't know if you'll be able to go back, if college kids will be able to go back to school. But as a rule of thumb in life, if anything, this reminds me, just take it a day at a time. Your plans can be plans, but take it a day at a time. Like tomorrow's worries will worry for themselves. But I guess for me, it's not, I don't want to make like a moping or complaining video, but I guess it's just like reflecting on the fact that like, wow, it's really over. Like, I guess the point of this video is not to have answers. I'm about to take my next step into the real world as a professional, and I don't know what that is either. And so I guess this video is just to capture all those feelings, that amalgamation of just all these different perspectives, and try to regurgitate everything. But I think it was important to record my thoughts and just record this moment in time, because I think it's very easy once it's over to forget what it was like. If you're still watching, thank you so much. It means so much. Like the video if you enjoyed it or related to it in some way, and subscribe if you want more. I don't know if this video is helpful or relatable, but I was just trying to record my thoughts, and we're in it together, and it's not the end of the world. Take it a day at a time.